Hello, my beautiful creatives, and welcome back to my art channel. My name is Chrissie B, and I'm a creativity coach, hoping to inspire you to live a more creative life every day. Now, full disclosure, my desk is a huge, huge mess, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna just kind of roll with it. I have a few supplies out in front of me. I don't know if I'm gonna use them all, but let me just tell you what I've got. I've got my set of Brush Show crystal colors out, and I do have those swatched out so I know what color is what. So I've got those at the ready. I've got some gelatos at the ready. I also have some crystal gel hologram, like glittery kind of glue. I've never used it before. I don't even know if it's opened. It's not even open yet. So because this is the year of use it or lose it, I'm trying really hard to force myself to pull things out that I've never used before. So those are the three things. I've actually used most of the brushes and the gelatos, but I've never used the crystal gel. So what else do I have? I have some water on my desk. I have a palette knife in case I need it. I also have a water round wash brush for moving the brushes around a little bit. And I think I want to do kind of a bluish purple kind of thing going on. So I'm going to look at my Brush Show colors, and I think I'm going to start with the purple and the violet. I also have a fine mist water sprayer in front of me. I didn't say that, but a spray bottle of water is awesome. So is a jar of water to clean your brush. So let me grab my purple and my violet. I'm going to start by spraying my page with some water. And I want to grab a paper towel real quick because I realize if I want to sop up any of this water, that'd be the great way to do it. And I can already see some speckles of color because there's some Brush Show powder on the bottom. So I've got some paper towel with me now. And I'm just going to start by sprinkling some purple in random places. And I say random, but I kind of want to do it in a trio. So I'm making kind of a triangle here, and I'm going to kind of mix just a little bit of this purple with it. So I did violet first, and then I'm doing purple second. And let's see if I can get that to move a little bit more by spraying some more water on it. I probably should tell you that I started by coating my page with a thin coat of gesso that I had smeared with a palette knife beforehand. So I'm just going to kind of use my brush to kind of like spread some of that color out a little bit. I like it kind of mushing together like it's doing. I just don't want it to be too, I don't know, too something. Just kind of get it kind of mushed around. I don't really have a plan for today's page. I just know that I want to play. So as usual, that is what I'm doing. Dip my brush in water. Awesome thing about this particular brush is that it holds so much water. Now I'm gonna pick this up and let it drip down just to kind of see what it will do. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So let me pick up some more water with my brush, run it along the edge of the book, and then it might help if I touch some water, some paint to it. So let's actually pick it all the way up and make a little bit of a mess. That's all right. Put the paper towels for, and let's run that the other direction. If I was really feeling froggy, I'd just close my book, see what it would do. But I want to see this first. Okay, it's kind of looking like a Rorschach test at the moment. So I want to do some drips down from the top, and I have a lot of little powder speckles at the top here. So I want to just run my water brush. Whoops, that's a lot of water. It's okay. And let that run down and see what it does. Kind of as an experiment. And then using my paper towel to catch any extra drips that may be happening, which there are some. And now, because I'm curious, I'm going to close it. to see what it will do. And this is my soul book, so it doesn't close terribly easily because it's kind of thick. I'm going to close it one more time, and I want to mush some of those lines out. And I'm going to do that just by pressing. Okay, it kind of looks like a tree, a purple tree. So now what I want to do, let's see if I can straighten that page back out again. It kind of got a fold in it. I have a couple of hairs because I have puppies. When you have puppies, you have hair in your art. In case you didn't know. Okay, so that's what it looks like right at the moment. I'll just let that kind of sit there for a momentito. But because I have no patience, I'm going to take my paper towel, I'm going to open it, and I'm just going to press it down on the page just to sop up some of the water. It will pick up some of the paint as well, but I'm okay with that. Not worried about that at all. Okay. My page is pretty wet at the moment. I'm sure it's going to bleed through. That's all right. It just gives me something else to work on challenge-wise on the next page. Look how cool that is. Yep, big ol' mess. Okay, so before I let this completely dry, which I will shortly, I'm going to grab a color I didn't think I was going to grab, but I'm going to grab this crimson right here. Because there's some red in here, I'm not sure where that came from. I don't know if it came from the box, but I'm just going to sprinkle some crimson, and I'm sprinkling a lot. This is a lot of Brusho. If you've ever used Brusho before, you know just a dab will do ya. I'm going to kind of let that kind of run around a little bit. Coming back with my water brush, I'm going to dab off some water. Just a little bit, and see if I can get those to move how I want them to. And when I say the way that I want them to, meaning I just want them to move in an interesting way. I kind of want them to run around the page a little bit. Let's do a little bit more running, but this time I'm going to run upward. So we're going to tilt the book away from us. Just kind of let that do its thing for a moment. I see this nice little blob right here that I want to kind of assist. Just putting a drip on it. Bring it back down again. Realize I don't really have any of those drips over here. So let's give that a little zhuzh. Let's do a couple of them so they look purposeful. If you want to go back and touch at the top, that's okay. Okay, see, I'm going to have to catch it at the top over here. And let's bring it back down. Get some scrumptious drippage. Because you know me, Mama likes her drippage. Got some really pretty somethings happening here. I'll scoop you up and let you drip over here because I have no drips from the top, but I would like some. Okay, so what I'm going to do, see all these are like big puddly drippages? I'm just going to let all of that dry. I want to see what it does. So I'll be back. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty stinking cool. I really like this. I don't have any page like this in my soul book. And there are maybe a couple little spaces that are going to be a little wet. I did use quite a lot of water on this spread, but I think I'm ready for the next step. And that is I want to do some actual journaling. I'll do some more decorating, but I want to do some journaling first. So what I have pulled out are two different dip pens. One has a really fine point to it, and one has kind of a circle point. I don't know what that's called. I'm sure all of you calligraphers could tell me, but they're just two nibs that I picked up. One nib holder is just an inexpensive plastic student nib holder. So something I've had forever and ever. And this is a nicer one. It's wood. It's a little bit heavier. But But because I don't want to change my nibs to do what I'm doing, I want to use the one with the circle on the end of it for doodling and the one with the fine point for actually journaling. I'm going to use Speedball Pigmented Acrylic Ink, acid-free and archival, waterproof and permanent. I've got other inks. I've got lots of other inks, but I want to use this one just because it's small and I've had it forever and ever and ever, and it's kind of the ink that I've been grabbing. So I'm going to take its little lid off, and I'm going to try to be careful. I'm going to set it off to my side here off camera. So I've got something running through my mind today, and I'm just going to kind of jot it down, and it's basically a chat between me and the universe. And you're more than welcome to watch. I don't mind if you see what I say. I don't even mind if you stop it and read it if you want to. My handwriting's pretty messy, but if you can manage it, you're more than welcome. And I'm just going to kind of start up in this corner and then just kind of come down. And I don't know if I'll keep it kind of in a shape or if I'll just kind of more free flow it and just let it kind of come out. But I'm just going to put some music on so you can see what I'm doing, but there won't be anything really to hear. Yeah, I'm going to take my little clamp and move it over. Let's, just to get my page as flat as I can get it. Okay, and there are 2 ridges here in my paper. That's from the spread on the other side of the page, and I'm just going to try to be mindful but not really be too hard on myself if I forget and, you know, make a mistake because of it. And I don't use this nib very much, so this will all be play and practice and journaling at the same time. So here we go. Okay, so that's not quite dry yet, but as usual, I am not terribly patient. So I'm going to grab one of my gelatos. Let me test the color out over here. It's kind of a salmon-y color, but I'm gonna go with it. This is, I don't know what this is. There's no label on it, and it's the old ones where they didn't have the names on the top. So I'm just gonna take my gelato, and I'm going to mush it around the outside edge. And see if I can get it to smudge a little with my finger. Let's move my little clippy-doos. I'm getting paint all over everything, which normally doesn't bother me, but for some reason I don't want it today. So let me grab some wax paper. Some wax paper. And kind of protect my under pages. And do the same thing all the way around. I'm hoping to just kind of create kind of a messy, colorful frame around my page, like so. I'm doing that a lot lately. I just really like it. I don't know, it gives it kind of a feeling of being done. Okay, just smudge it with your finger. I have a couple of wet ink spots. I'm trying really hard not to touch them. Although it's not very like neat and orderly anyways. It never is because my handwriting is not neat and orderly. So let's move this over to this side, and I'm going to do the same thing to this page. Just because I can. This is a color combo that I don't really ever do. I'm finding that I'm saying that a lot this year because I'm trying a lot of things that I don't normally do. Color combinations or techniques or maybe supplies that I purchased because I thought they'd be fun to play with and I actually never played with them. It's kind of the plight of the mixed media artist. So it's been a lot of fun getting this stuff out and just playing. Putting your kindergartner hat on and just giving yourself permission to make a big mess and enjoy the process while you're doing it. Let's finish smudging that out. I've never used gelato dry before. I've always activated it with water. It's kind of cool. It kind of feels like funky chapstick or something. Okay. Now, do I love that? No. There's something else I can do to it? Yes. Let's grab a blue. And which blue do I want? I've kind of got some swatches going on my background paper. It's kind of what I am grabbing. I'm going to grab this color. I think this, I don't know what color this is, honestly. And I'm just going to kind of lightly rub it along because I think if I add the pink and the blue together, I'll get kind of a purple. Ooh, almost ran my finger through my wet ink. Let's see. Let me test my theory. I could have just done this with a purple, but that would have been too easy and it wouldn't have given me the ability to play like I want. So let me just continue to mush that around. I did get my finger in the ink, doggone it. And then keep going. And around. And if I don't like it, I can always cover it with something else. That's kind of the mixed media 101. Don't like it, cover it. Or sit with it for a while. Sometimes I'll do something I think looks terrible, and the next day I'll come back to it and think, oh, that's really cool. Why did I hate that so much? Is that just me? Does anyone else do that? Okay. It's kind of got a purpley tinge to it. Dip my finger in some water, kind of dab it off on paper towel so it's damp but not too wet. Just kind of keep blending. Is that better? Do I want to go in with a straight purple? Just kind of a top coat? Yes, we do, because apparently we're doing it. So just another gelato. Straight purple this time and just layering my colors. Kind of picking up different colors from the background. Now let's take my damp finger and smudge that into all the other colors we've got down. Damp just a little bit more, dab it off. I want to get that blue blended in. It's kind of a streak of blue right there. Now let's get this one blended in. Whoops. Okay. That one I forgot to dab my finger off, so it got really slimy. That's what gelato feels like wet, is slimy. But I kind of like that. Dip my finger. And then blend, 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 blend. Blend, blend, blend. Dip my finger. I don't want to see all these little modelly spots. I want it a little more solid than that. Yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm not sure what to do next. I'll probably clean my workspace up a little bit because, you know, space is limited. And hot mess doesn't make for conducive creating. So I might clean up a little bit. I know I do want to put a sentiment over here. Something that I keep hearing in my head. So get it out onto paper. But I like it. It's going to be a simple art journal page apparently, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'll be back as soon as this is completely dry. Okay, so now I'm back. Everything is super duper dry because it's actually a few hours later. But let's see, what do we want to do? I want to test to see if that ink will come off of this page. Just because I've never really used it in my journal before. I've only played with this ink on my underpapers, which I don't really use, and it comes off just a little bit. I have a smudge right here. See if I can get that to come off and see, just kind of out of curiosity. And it sort of does. So there must be something in baby wipes that's not quite water, which I guess that's kind of a duh thing. Duh, of course not. Anyways, what do I want to do? I want to put something over here like keep walking in faith, or keep the faith, or something like that. And I also really want to use my crystal gel because I've never used it before and I think it'll be fun, but I think that's gonna have to be the very last thing I do because there's no way in heckaroni I'm gonna be able to wait for that to dry without like getting my hand or my sleeve or something in it, which would be so sad. So before I do that, I feel like some doodling or something should be going on. Okay, I've got this Koh-i-Noor Heartmouth Magic Pencil, and it's got, I don't know if you could see this. Let's see if I can get you to see that. It's got white, blue, and red in its tip there. See that? And so I think it'd be kind of cool to use. I just don't want to put too much red on there, but I do want to do some doodling. So we're just gonna do it. And just kind of do some swoopies. And I always go over my doodles multiple times to make it feel like the messy was on purpose, instead of putting so much pressure on myself to do something gorgeous. Do you know what I love about this edging on this book that I've just done earlier today? It's kind of got a shimmer to it. I did not know that it would. So I'm not sure which one of my gelatos gave it that kind of cool scrumdiddlyumptiousness, glittery, shiny sparkliness, but it's there and I love it. So my dogs are going berserk. They probably say cat outside. Their favorite thing in the world right now is to sit up on my bed. Because remember, we're in a trailer. So they're sitting up on top of my bed and they're looking out one of the two windows, one on either side of the trailer in there. And they kind of watch the world and protect me from, I don't know, their own preconceived ideas of what's going to get me. Usually anytime there's a pedestrian walking by, a cat, somebody walking a dog, oh my gosh, they go berserk. So there's some doodling, respectable, I think. I love that. And because I usually do, I'm just going to put a couple of like funky hash marks, just kind of random places. And just keep going with that and try to ignore my loud dogs. Dogs are so loud. And do some more there. Let's do some over here underneath, well, on top of my journaling. I've never really journaled in my soul book like that before, where I just kind of basically was just saying a prayer out loud on my journal page. So I kind of like that. I don't know, maybe that's something I can do for a while and just until I get through the things happening in my life. That could be cool, just as like a check-in with myself and make sure that I'm on the right track. So that is the doodling I'm gonna do for now. Anyways, I want to add some paper. So I'm going to pull out my pad of watercolor, my Canson watercolor paper. I love this paper because it's nice and thick and juicy, and it really takes a beating. However, I'm just going to use it as a background for stamping on. So let me pull a sheet out. I know it's way too big. I will not need a sheet this large. I'm going to move my soul book out of the way, just in case I do something to it that makes me sad. Let's not let that happen. And I'm going to go grab some of my letter stamps, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I have two sets of stamps that I'm eyeballing. I have an Amy Tangerine set and a Hero Arts set, except I think I used these ones in my last video, which means I just used them. So I think I'm gonna use my Amy Tangerine set. I love this set so much. I have two sets of them. One that I keep with me and one I keep in case, just in case, because I'm that weird paranoid person that you never know, you never know. So let's see, what do I want to do? I want to do a stamp pad color. Now remember, this is the year of use it or lose it. If you don't use it in the year, you gotta get rid of it. So I'm gonna look through my stamp pads and see if I can find, I don't know, I guess I could do black soot, which I guess is kind of safe. But doing something like a deep, oops, purple, which I don't even know if I have a deep purple. How about Chip Sapphire? It's kind of a dark blue. Blueprint Sketch. Faded Jeans. Which I guess none of that is purple, but let's have a little bit of, I don't know. I have to have purple somewhere in this big old mess of stuff. I have Seedless Preserves, that's purple. It's a little one. That counts, doesn't it? So let's try that one too. And I am going to start with the Seedless Preserves just because I want to see what that looks like. And I'm going to stamp, what am I stamping? Keep the Faith. Keep the Faith, Walk in Faith. Let's try Keep the Faith. I kind of just tap it down. Now, I don't know, it doesn't really look like it's really transferring. Is that just me? I'm not the best stamper, in all honesty. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Last time I did this, I was not in frame. Now I like having it kind of messy, that you can't really see exactly what I'm doing. Let me move myself a little bit so you can at least get me in frame. This K is kind of bad though. I need at least my first letter and my last letter to be nice and clear and crisp. So that way you can at least see what I'm trying to do. K. Literally K. K. I'm not sure. Let's do Keep and then we'll test with just Keep. See, the E did much nicer, I think. Or maybe not. I guess it's kind of modeling. Maybe that's the nature of the Distress ink. Keep. Okay. So that's terrible and I hate it. Hate it! Let me just, because it's so modelly, I don't think it's going to show up terribly well. Plus I don't really like the purple. I've never really been a very big purple girl, but... Okay, so I have another idea. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm pulling out a Tombow marker, my dual brush marker, and this one is in what color? I don't know. 636, whatever that is. And I'm going to try, because I'm curious, if I mark the letter with the brush side of the marker, will it make a stamp? I don't know. Can I use it in place of a stamp pad? Well, yes, technically yes, but it's still really modelly. See if I apply it in shorter strokes, see if that helps. I don't know, it seems like it deposited more ink on it that way. And it did. Oh, I need another E. Same letter, though. Okay, short strokes. Second E. Second verse. Same as the first. Oh, see, better. Note to self, when using your Tombow brush marker for your stamp pad, short little strokes makes a nice imprint. Makes nice marks. Let's see if the P worked. Keep. Well, maybe not too fabulous. Okay. Let's put that one away. That was a nice experiment. Let's try another experiment. I've got a lot, and I mean a lot of stamp pads. And most of them I have never used before. What about deep purple? Do you think deep purple is actually purple? This is archival ink in deep purple, and we're gonna give it a whirligig. It looks nice and dark. Okay. Okay. Literally, okay. See if I can not get too much more ink on myself. I've got quite a bit on my hands from earlier. Okay. Oh, that's so much nicer. Now let's do 2 E's. Let's kind of wash my, this is my cleaning my stamp. That's a cleaning my stamp. And let's do another E. And a P. Oops, I just stuck my finger in my stamp pad. Okay, it's pretty messy. I mean, it's like all wonkified, but I'm gonna keep going. Keep the faith. Keep walking in faith. Keep the faith. I think keep the faith is kind of short. So let's do walking. I'm gonna do walking above because I don't know how far over it's gonna go, like how long it's gonna be. But I do know what I'm trying to say. So keep walking. Let me make sure I keep seeing all my letters. That little sound, I feel like that sound makes the magic happen. It's kind of annoying though, so I apologize. Keep walking. You know what's the worst is when you're doing this and you spell a word wrong. Oh, it drives me bananas. That, you know, the smudging of a corner, that doesn't drive me bananas. Misspelling it, that makes me have to start over. Set my stamps aside, grab my paper cutter out of its little drawer, and we don't do real rocket science here, but I'm just gonna kind of go float above it and give it a good cut. Ta-da! And I'm going to just cut here, even though I know I need to trim some underneath the walking because it's a little floaty, little bit high. Let's see if I can get this to work. Why is this so hard? Okay, let's trim it down first. Let's make it a little bit more manageable, shall we? So let's figure out, I want it cut right there. Let's make it straight-ish. Walking. All right, that's good enough. I showed you this little, there's a wire in here. It's called a precision wire, and it makes it, you know exactly where you're gonna cut it. It's awesome. It's good because I'm an eyeballer, and I usually eyeball way bad. Hear a little skittering of little feet. I got little feet in my house, and they're the four-legged kind. And little Miss Gracie Lou's got her ball. I can see her playing with it. Okay, so keep the faith. Because of the thickness of this watercolor paper, I always use my Alien's Fast Grab Tacky Glue to adhere them down. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I, however, have just made the realization I want to add something to the edges of these letters because they're too stark white. And this is my made up, I have no idea if I'm doing this right, but I'm going to do it that way anyway. So just go with me. I'm going to use this Chip Sapphire Distressed. I don't know, again, people, if I'm doing this wrong, be kind. I'm gonna put down my piece of wax paper because I don't want this ink all over my page yet. So I'm gonna just kind of scrape my edges to kind of grunge them up a little bit because it's what I like. It makes me happy. It makes me super happy. And then set that down and let it dry. So before I glue, first of all, I need to pay attention and make sure I put the words in the correct order. And they're still wet, so I'm getting very, very blue. Somebody just dropped a bone in the bedroom. Keep walking in faith. Do I want you angled? Or do I want you kind of, yeah, I know the answer to that. I kind of want you centered down the middle. Excuse me, Mama's trying to film. Yeah, hooligans. I don't want it too perfect. So I'm just taking my Alien's Fast Grab Tacky Glue and just kind of put some glue on the backs of these. Nothing terribly rocket science about it. I like because it's really thick and it actually kind of sticks it in place right away. So you can actually pick your book up and it won't actually slide anywhere. So I love that. But I also don't have to wait too long for it to actually dry. Do you remember me telling you a long time ago that your soul book was to be used as a tool to remind yourself who you are and what you want and what's the most important to you when life gets crazy busy? For me, this is a really important page because I'm getting ready to go back to work, like W-O-R-K work. And I have had such a blast arting 24/7, and I feel like I've fallen into my calling, but my calling doesn't make any money yet. So until then, until such time, I need to go back to a J-O-B. Hopefully do a great job there, but I will need to remember this message to keep walking in faith because I know what I want to do. I'm just not there yet that I can do it full time. So that's what this page is all about. Now, you know that Mama cannot put these words down without like zhuzhing them a little bit because they need some zhuzhing. And I really, really, really want to add some polka dots with my ink and that, the nib with a little ball on the end of it, whatever it's called, I don't know. But I really, 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 really want to pull that out and get some dots down. So what do I do first? Okay, ink is going to take a lot longer to dry. I also want to do my crystal gel. Do not forget crystal gel, hiccups, sorry. But before I do that even, I'm going to grab my doodly pen, my black ink doodly pen. And I'm just going to doodle around my little words. I feel like if I don't do that, I don't feel like the page is done. Because that's kind of my thing that I've really just adopted. Messy, scribbly, I love the little, I don't know. In my head, when I do this motion, this is the sound I hear. Like that. I swear to God, it's the funnest feeling. So it's kind of like, art journaling should be fun, people. And whatever it takes for you to make art journaling fun, do that. Because if art journaling's fun, you will stick with it. I'm not sure I'll ever make that noise again. So if you want to hear it again, please come back to this video. See what I mean? I have a minion living inside of my head. I just love it so much. It makes me happy. Art journaling makes me happy. I think mixed media makes me happy. I just love it. It makes me joyful. Admit it, you just made the noise for me, didn't you? Thank you, I appreciate it. I knew I found my people. I'm just gonna give it a little scribble. I have a couple of ends kind of poking up. That's okay. We'll just keep poking them back down and showing it who's boss. Okay, so now that I've done that, I have a couple ideas going in my head. I want to do my little inky thing with my little dauber thingy. My dogs keep dropping stuff today. Set my ink down, that bubble's gonna pop, probably splatter. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip my, see if I can get this not on my sweater, because I love a sweater. It's a good thing I checked, because I have ink on my under thing here already. And see, splatter. Grab some ink in my little dip pen, and I just want to use the tip to make some dots. It's my version of polka dots today. And you're gonna hear my dogs. They're chasing a ball together right now in our little trailer. I just want to do some of this kind of zhuzhiness because it makes me happy. Okay, confession time. What things do you do in your journal, while you're in your journal, that might make other people look at you like you're a little bit crazy? Bitsy's protecting the house. Bitsy, you're fine. Thank you. Crazy girl. You crazy girl. Where are these polka dots going? I have no idea. I probably should pay attention and just keep going. I don't want them to be too, I don't like putting them in a shape necessarily. I want them to be kind of like a blob, you know? See what I'm saying? I do want to put a little bit more that away. Ooh, those are big dots. This is why I'm doing this almost last, because these are going to take a while to dry. And Mama doesn't have that kind of patience, so let's do some over here. Remember, I'm all about balance and fairness in my art journal. If I do a little bit over here, this kind of side needs a little bit of it. I try to do things in odd numbers. So I will do it in either 3 spaces or 5 spaces or 7 spaces or some variation of an odd number, because that makes me happy. But there is no wrong way to do this. It's just all about doing it. This is just how I'm doing it. And hopefully my way of doing it gives you an idea of something that you might try, or maybe it inspires you to try something different. There goes my little raggedy puppies. They're playing with a stick at the moment, because they're crazy like that. Okay. Okay, so you know what's weird is that I'm using the spine as a line, and I don't want to do that. I want it to feel like the page flows. Flowing is good. A little more ink, please. I just dip a little and then tap on the side to kind of like take any excess off. It still gets a little bit blobby sometimes, but I don't know. That's kind of the nature of just going with it and winging it and seeing what happens. It's all about experimentation. It's really about putting your big girl panties on and just do it. Don't be scared. You can make no mistakes, because if you hate this, just let it dry completely and paint over the top of it. Put a piece of paper here. Maybe this is where an image should go. I don't know. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to create a masterpiece. Masterpieces just happen, but you have to make a lot of crap first to get to the masterpiece. At least that's my experience. So now I've got that one. I'm gonna do another one right here, not quite up in the corner, but kind of over in this general area. And then I'm going to do my crystal gel stuff, because I do not want to forget, and I'm really, really excited about it. Really excited! I don't use a lot of glitter or sparkle or stuff like that in my soul book. I don't really use it anywhere in my life. I buy a lot of it because I love the shiny sparkliness of it, but I don't really know how to use it in my stuff. So it just kind of sits on my shelf or in my drawer, accumulating dust. And remember, this is the year that I either use it or lose it. So Mama is going to figure out how to use it, and the way that I figure out how to do anything is just by trying it. Trying something and saying, yep, that worked, or no, 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 no. Let's not do that again. Yeah, happy? Am I happy? Yeah, let's leave it at that. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I actually run my nib in my water and just kind of give it a good shake there. And then I grab my paper towel and just kind of wipe it off to dry it. I don't know if that's bad. I don't know if it's good. It seems to clean it, and it's never caused me any problems up to this point. So I'm gonna keep doing it until somebody says, don't do that, you'll ruin it. Let's close my ink before I have an ink accident. I almost said inksident. That did not sound right. I've got so much black ink on my fingers right now. Okay, see that? I'm an artiste. I'm an artiste. Now, I'm going to do my crystal gel. First thing I need to do is open it. And this is what it looks like. It's from Viva Decor. And it's crystal gel. Never used it before. I'm thinking about taking one of my Tim Holt Dauber thingies. Let me show you. This is what I'm thinking. I think I can make a gigantic polka dot with it. And that would be so cool if it works. But this is really, really, really thick. And I don't know how it's going to behave. So let me just finish getting this open and scraping off this paper, because I'm not wasting it. So my idea is to take my little dauber that I usually use for acrylic paints, and I'm going to put a clean dauber thingy on there. And I'm gonna take the cap, because this, in my head, I'm making this up as I'm going, okay? Let me zoom you out a little bit, because Mama's about to make a mess. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my dauber, clean sponge on the top of it. I'm going to have scooped up some of the crystal gel onto my little pad, and I am mushing it in so it's like kind of evenly put onto the little circle. Now I also noticed that it kind of accumulated around the edges, so what I'm doing is taking my little sponge and scraping the edges back into the container so I don't lose any of that gel. But my hope is that I can dot this down and either dot it straight down and then back up again, which is what I'm going to try first, and see if it gives me a circle that is also that gel. And sure enough, it worked. So I'm just doing a couple of those. They're very subtle. They may not even show up on camera. But trust me, they're there. There's some holographic glitter in there. And I'm gonna just put a few down. It looks like it will print a few times, so that's nice. So you may not see the circles, but I see the circles, and the circles make me happy because I am a polka dot girl. I love me some circles. Okay, and just so you know the weirdness going on in my brain, I'm also counting. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's an odd number. I will do 6 because it's really close, and then I will do 7 here. This is always easier. Bitsy, shush. This is always easier when I do this first thing in the morning and there's no puppy. The puppies are sleeping. They're barking at my sister-in-law who's standing outside. So there's 7, okay? So now to make it even, I'm keeping a couple things in mind. Odd numbers. Odd numbers, and I don't want to stick my dauber into my ink that I've got sitting here because the ink is still wet. Check my edges, scrape my edges. Let's come over here and do 1. And give it a little spin, I think might help that. 2 and 3. Again, super subtle, super subtle. Another thing I could do is I can always grab a stickles and outline. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do 1 over here, just 1. Okay. Because I don't know why, because 1. So I've got all of my little dots. Now, I don't know if you could see that. You may not see anything. I see it and it's gorgeous. Let me set that on my pen. So let me see if I can help you see what I've just done. Do you see that really subtle, sparkly? Okay, so pardon that intermission. I just took Hacky McHackerstein and put her in the other room. Oh, okay. So let me see if I can get you to see those little circles. Do they show at all on camera? They're just really large polka dots. And I apologize if they're not really showing up, but they show up really well in person. And because Mama is liking them so much, I'm gonna take clear rock candy or diamond. I'm gonna do the diamond stickles. Never used these before. Stickles have been in my stash forever. Never, ever, ever use them. And all I'm gonna do, besides pushing down my words that kind of keep wanting to pop up, I'm going to do a practice dauber. And I'm actually going to watch where I'm going, watch my arm, because I have wet ink and I have some sparkle dots that I need to be careful not to smudge. And I just want to do an outline around those sparkle dots because they make me happy. And I like that they're kind of messy. This might be a horrible idea, but again, we're using our stash and we're trying new things and we're being brave. If you can't be brave in your soul book for yourself, oh my gosh, I think I'll have a lot of problems in my life if I can't be brave in my own soul book when I'm just tucked in my own little house playing. Remember, I've got my kindergartner cap on, and kindergartner Chrissy loves her some glitter. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine what I would have done if I had a little bottle of glitter. My mother would have gone berserk. So we'll just kind of keep going with our little circles to kind of give them a little bit of attention. If I would have had purple, I might have done them in purple. Maybe a kind of blue would have been cool too. But I love the holographic, I'm saying harlequin, but I'm meaning holographic glitter that is in here. Just kind of calling attention to them. And the dauber kind of gave them a little bit of a texture, so they're not smooth, which I love that too. Honestly, when I pulled that out to use that today, I had no idea how I was going to use it. So I'm really jazzed how this is turning out because it's totally different than what I expected. Okay, I'm going to do this one up here first because I'm afraid I'm going to get my arm in it. And this one down here. Although they're so thin, they might be dry already, but I'm not going to test it. There's that one. And that one. You know what these remind me of? Let me just say, side note, these remind me of Glenda the Good Witch in The Wizard of Oz. And the little traveling bubble that she had. Maybe there's little fairies all over my page and I just don't even know it. Oh, I touched my ink. It didn't smear. That was a miracle. I just gotta get these last 2, 3. Yeah, there's 3 up here, aren't there? This one's kind of subtle. Oops. Just kind of get your glitter bubble in place. Oh my gosh. So we tried a lot of new things on this one today. That's a very wonkified bubble, but I'm telling you, it's awesome. It makes me happy. Now I'm just gonna let this little guy dry, and maybe this will be my sparkle dauber now. Keep that little sponge just for my sparkles. Okay, let me hold this up. Let me see if you can see my little Glenda the Good Witch bubbles. Can you see those? Oh, they make me happy. They really, really do. So anyways, how's that for a journal with me session? Whew. I don't know how long that took me. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I love this so much. This whole saying a prayer in my soul book, I've never done that before, but I have to tell you that might become a practice. And why the heck have I never used my Brusho powders before? I love those. I've used them once in a Brusho class and I've never used them again. Shame, shame, shame on me. I'm gonna fix that. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you wholeheartedly, and I hope that you have an amazing day until I see you again next time. Bye for now.